that. Let's see. I got to work on the light. I guess it'll work. Good enough. Hi guys, it's Alan. It's about 6 o'clock here. It's in Salem, and just doing another thing about being a TI. For other people who are TIs, you know what I'm talking about. And there are many different symptoms. And that's the thing, for a lot of people who are going through TI, target individuals, not all of us have the same symptoms. Like I have something called V2K, voice skull, but not all TIs have that. I periodically have burns, but I didn't know what they were. I just knew it was a sharp pain and it would manifest on my and leave marks. And then, but other people have forced speech, where it's forced, like a compulsion, to say something that they don't have control over. And I've never experienced that, but just because I haven't experienced it, I mean, I don't doubt that these people are going through it. If somebody would have explained V2K, and if I didn't have it, I would have been skeptical. But since I do have it, I know it's real. I mean, it's just, for a person who is a skeptic, by nature, it's not that I want to be. I've always been a skeptic. And somebody could show me proof or even a patent. It's like, well, it could be. It's almost like it's a hypothetical. Like, oh, our government could do something, or here's proof, here's a patent. Oh, they could. But when it really happens to you, and it's happening to you, not just once, but like every day, and you experience it for yourself, and that's when it's like, it's not hypothetical. You can't say it didn't happen because, well, now you know. You're one of them. And even if it makes you sound nutty, you can't lie and say it didn't happen, or every single day it's happening, especially. I mean, we're not talking about somebody who had a bad dream one night. I mean, you know it's happening. It's happening to you every day. In fact, I can hear them right now. I mean, but it's also, for me at least, I knew it wasn't a psychotic thing. It wasn't spirits. Or, you know, I believe in God because of the fine-tuning a rational argument, but it wasn't God speaking to me, or, you know. I know it's a technology, but could there be emotional and spiritual manifestations or things going through? Yeah, it could be. I can't say whether through rational argument or Occam's razor, or, you know, I can't say what is or what isn't on the spiritual. It's not my argument. I'm going to spend time on it. But I also know from symptoms, I heard people talking about getting tingles and stabbings on their legs and on their feet, on their individual like toes. And when I had heard that at the White House bioethics, it's the White House bioethics symposium, by Ann Goodman, who was president, maybe still is, from the University of Pennsylvania. And she was the chair along with Dr. Christine Grady, who happens to also be Anthony Fauci's wife of 30 years. She doesn't go by Fauci, she goes by Grady. You can look it up. And President Obama put her in charge of the bioethics department, which means that bioethics, making sure that in medicine, new medicines, new pacemakers, new things, when pharmaceutical companies are trying a new product, medication, or a new device, an implanted device like a pacemaker, that when people are part of a double-blind study, that the people involved, whether they know or don't know, they should know. They should be in consent. They should have consent But if they're not, at least the people involved are not being tortured, that they're not dying and being put through a torture test. That's what the bioethics ideally is supposed to be part of. Anyway, they're put in charge from 2009 to 2017, and there's about 10 other people. You can find it on 2012 targeted individual evidences. The whole White House thing with, it used to be, it was like 9 hours and 37 minutes. I don't know if you can find that anymore. It used to be on bioethics.gov. But trying to find that, I don't know. It's just they took it down because it's like, wow, out of pressure, the White House gave 2 hearings in 2011 for a couple days and again in 2012. Like, okay, we're going to do this again next year. And it's been pretty silent, but in the last year or so, we've been hearing of Havana syndrome now, and they're acting like, well, we don't know, it's mysterious. And for anybody who's a TI, we're like, this is not, it's mysterious, it's new technology, but for the people who are TIs and the people in Washington, they know all about it. They've already had 2 different years where they officially recognize and listen to target individuals talk about V2K, these pulsated microwave directed energy weapons used on individuals as a torture to see what radiation does. And for people, well, our government wouldn't do that. We already have the fact that in 1995, President Bill Clinton, whether you like him or don't like him, in 95, he admitted there was this, brought out a big old thick book and admitted our government for decades has been experimenting on innocent civilians, American civilians, without letting them know. He was saying it was shameful, it was horrible, it was immoral, not just from the standards of that time, but even from today's standards. It's immoral. And we knew better, but did it anyway. So it was nice and respectful. And you think, okay, all those years of these people saying the government's experimenting on them and people looking at them like they're crazy. All these years, nobody believing them. Well, finally, Bill Clinton, the president, admitted, yeah, those people weren't crazy. They really were. Some might have had some crazy, dementia, but a lot of them, they were telling the truth and a lot of people just didn't believe them. Why would our government do that? But then 95, thanks to Bill Clinton, at least, okay, yeah. Here's an admission that our own government, the moral United States of America, a Christian nation, is doing something that depraved. And we look at other countries, and rightfully so. If we look at China, or if we see cruelty in another nation, it's good to slam and say you shouldn't do that. But when our own country is doing it, not just to other countries, but to us, who has done nothing wrong, but they just want to use us as guinea pigs, and get away with it. And it's a weird thing where it's covered up, but it's known about. It's like senators, congressmen. I think Susan Collins said the horse has left the barn. It has left the barn. And when all these people who are watching CNN and Fox News and are hearing about directed energy weapons and Havana syndrome, where the diplomats in Cuba and China and the FBI and China, Cuba, Australia are having these massive vertigo, headaches, ringing in the ears, where massive shots of just painful shots of whatever it is. And then the people are saying, we don't know what it is. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. The TIs are saying, what do you mean you're getting to it's been known. The White House already had an open thing in 2011 and 2012, the bioethics, the target individual. It's not Dr. Fauci's wife that was helped put in charge, her and Amy Goodman, president of the University of Pennsylvania. So between that college and Georgetown and Stanford, over the decades, there's been a lot of experimenting on neuroscience and how far the brain can do and what can be used. Now, some of those benefits are beneficial. Some of those research studies are beneficial, but damn it, some of them are just for torture to see what they can do, what they can get away with before raising such a stink, and hopefully that they can do it without getting caught. Well, the thing is, it's so open. When Washington, D.C. the White House has to open up its own doors. One of them was maybe in New York City, but I'm not. But it was the White House's bioethics department, mainly run by Dr. Christine Grady, Anthony Fauci's wife, because she has a degree in philosophy or bioethics or something. Smart lady. But there was a lot of hope for us as TIs. I just knew for 30 years I had the side pain. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know at all what it was. But it wasn't until I started getting the V2K that I realized, what is this? Somebody's fucking with me. It's a joke, or it's a horrible joke, but it's cruel, and I didn't know. But then you finally realize through the internet, you put the right word in Google, and it's like, oh, it's not a cruel joke. They're really trying to damage you. They get money for it. And they're trying to get rid of the evidence. My doctor never told me that. I was appreciative of the medication they gave me, but I didn't realize, nobody told me that I was put on a government program. And this is going to be, I'm going to show, let's see. I even have something here. It's a burn, and I don't know if you can see that. Probably, it's this red thing right here. I have shorts on, so I'm not trying to be indecent or immodest, but this thing has been on me for 8-9 months, out of the blue. I don't know if that light will, but anyway, out of the blue, this thing, and it won't go away. So I don't know, and so when people talk about burns, I know what they're talking about. I had one there under my stomach where the belt would go, and it's like, that's when it hits with the V2K, and you realize, oh, that's what they're talking about when it comes to burns. And anyway, and then you itch it, it itches, so you scratch it. But the thing is, even if you don't itch it, it just stays there. No matter what you do, it just keeps staying there. And you're just like, nothing you put on it seems to make it go away. And it really opens your eyes. I don't care if you're a liberal or a Republican, Democrat or a Republican, religious, Jewish, Muslim, humanist. This kind of goes across everything. And for me, it was just luck of the draw, bad luck. I was a guinea pig. I didn't fit any quota. I didn't have any problems with police or city hall. My doctors, I was thankful for all those years, because I just knew I was in pain, and they gave me medicine. I just knew I was in pain, and they did something to help me, to get me medicine, and I was thankful for it. The police, I didn't have any problems. They were okay, good people, and city hall. But then this happens, and then you find out all the details. You know that people are acting weird, and some of them are police, and some of them are city hall, or you just know people are doing with the phone and putting their phone out, videotaping, and trying to mess with you. And you're just like, well, maybe it's just in my head. But you notice it's happening at the beginning. It's happening a lot. And you're thinking, why? What did you didn't do anything to hurt anybody. When I first found out and actually did get hurt, I knew I'd never hurt anybody. I just never did. My entire life, I never intentionally bothered or hurt anybody to where I made mistakes. I think one time I got drunk at a person's house and somebody had to come and get me, but I never got in a fist fight over it. I didn't yell at anybody or slap anybody or cuss anybody out. But I never got hurt. I never hurt anybody. I didn't have any enemies, but they still did it to me anyway. And suddenly, out of the blue, around 2015, 2016, the weird thing, the people, the voices from next door and underneath the garage, um, even the police would drive by and just start pounding, looking at me and pounding on their wheel, the steering wheel, and the whole people looking at you with the phones and the video, and you're, just constantly, and then yelling things like, when you're walking away, and you're thinking, what the hell was it? The only thing I can, and this is going to sound nutty, but I knew I didn't hurt anybody. I'm thinking, why are my computer at home acting up? I had to change phones like 4 or 5 times. And the only thing I could think of was when I was down. This is how crazy in your mind, you're trying to find a reason. Like, did I piss somebody off? And I thought, well, the movie, I knew that I was watching a movie called Breach, which is about the story of Robert Hansen, who was number 2 at the FBI. And I literally thought, well, maybe I wrote the movie in Breach, and that I didn't know it, but that's also a security code for, that's also a security code for, SOS. And it's like, oh, maybe I need to something, maybe it was like, maybe they thought it was a weird, like, help, and they freaked. I mean, you're just trying to find any kind of anything to make sense of why people are acting like this. And, all right, thank you. I don't get what that means, but all right. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but anyway, you just know that you hadn't done anything, so you're trying to make up any kind of reason that makes rational sense. You'd be the first to apologize. Did I do something wrong? And it's like, but then it's like, but then you realize, no, it makes sense. For 30 years, you don't know what it is at that time. You just know somebody's fucking with you. And then you get hurt, the window, and then you have to learn to walk again or something. And then people are, and it's a religious town that you live in, conservative, religious, and they wouldn't do something. There's, unless you deserve it, you do something. But then you realize after studying it, and months or years of looking and studying it, and then you realize, no, they're just doing it because that's why I was in pain for 30 years. I was a guinea pig. Like a lot of other thousands of other innocent people, some better than me, some worse than me, some are just, it's just random. A lot of it's random, but some of it is just, that'd be great if I could figure it out. And some of it's random, some of it's intentional. They put your name in because you pissed somebody off. But the good thing is, I'm glad that there's targeted justice. I'm glad there's Ella Free. I'm glad there's Target in Massachusetts. It's letting people know that they're not alone, that there's other people. And in my case, because they have these computers in front of them, that's at least what we as TIs come up with. When you hear V2K, you can hear them talk, and it's like you can just imagine them sitting in front of computers, like talking about your vital signs and this kind of stuff. To the person who's not a TI, this all sounds bizarre. It just does. I know it would. But it's, it's just, it's how we understand it, because we, you research a subject and it makes more sense once you talk to other people. So, but other people have helped, and I went to Portland at Ella Free's second annual Target individual rally, and that was very helpful. It's the first time in my life actually meeting other TIs. She was there, Dr. Matt was there, Meigs, and people from California, just a lot of really good people you can relate to. And it's like, oh, so this is what's going on. So anyway, for people that, I brought all that up just to say that, and another big thing when you're a TI just is to realize, because as a TI, some people will have symptoms that you may not have or you may not share. That's not reason to tell somebody that they're not a TI, or somebody's rude to you or doesn't respond to you quick enough, that doesn't mean that they're not a TI. Anybody who's out there getting the word out about this subject and making videos and trying to get the word out and spread the word about this, as far as in my book, they're doing what needs to be done. So I just say they're a TI. Anybody, at least in my book, which is just me, I'm not part of an organization of anything. There's no money being involved, but it's just anybody who's getting the word out is a TI. So I better check this. All right, I'll see you guys later. Oh wait, no, it's not. I'll take a look here in a second. That's my sister, so I'll call her right back. Hello. So, but anybody who's telling you not to go in chat rooms or not to be part of groups, that's the ones I would worry about. I'm not even going to say that they're not. I'm just saying anybody who tries to get the word out, even if they have different symptoms, like for a while I didn't get burns, and then I started getting them. I've never had forced speech ever still, but that doesn't mean that I won't, and I hope I don't. I've only had the headache part twice. I hardly ever get headaches. But I had the heart thing just constant. I had just an hour and a half ago. And I didn't get the ones with the tingles on your leg or your feet. I didn't have that either. Those little stabbing, little prick feeling things. And then about 5 months after seeing people talk about that, it just automatically, it started happening on individual toes, on the legs. But it doesn't happen on my back or my stomach. It just happens on my legs and my feet and toes. It's not, you're not even thinking about it, but it just automatically, or I'm not saying automatically, just, something started happening when you're not even thinking about it. You're just like, oh, that's what they're talking about. So one thing that did happen is I was looking at another TI's. It was in the middle of the night. I woke up and somebody who's a TI was on. And I had heard other TIs talk about that they will pretend to be you and write something under your name in a chat room. And I didn't never have that happen, but that happened to me twice in one night, where I woke up, somebody was on that, I checked to see how that person was doing, and I was about to write something, and it was empty, but then I looked up. I figured somebody was already in there because I already saw in my peripheral vision that somebody was already talking, and I looked, and it was my name, and they had already put something up there in my name pretending to be me. And I thought, well, wait a second. I heard about this, and I thought, I'm not going to write. They wrote something mean to the person, and I thought, I'm not going to even, but they can do that. Now, as a symptom, I've never seen that before. They mess with your computers, your phones. They make the little thing move by itself. But if you do get new symptoms, don't freak out. Like you might a little, but realize this is happening to other TIs too, and they can help fill in the blanks. So if you need to look at Targeted Justice or Mind Justice by Cheryl Walsh, just a lot of groups. Target Massachusetts has got a group you can talk to. Ella Free's good. There's quite a few of them. Next was on for a long time, and it's got some good stuff. Anyway, there's a lot out there. So just keep looking into it, and you'll get a lot of support. You'll find other people going through the exact same thing, and you'll get some emotional support and some rational, okay, here's what's going on, and hopefully we can put an end to this. So, okay. Hey, Bridget, hello. Oh, make the little thing move by itself. The arrow thing. This little arrow thing right here. I don't know if you can see it on the thing there, but this little mark, the little arrow thing. So anyway, I'm just going to call my sister back. So I'm just getting ready. So I hope you're doing good, Bridget. How you doing, Jerusha? Anyway, I'm doing pretty good. So I'm gonna make one of these tomorrow too, or even maybe later tonight. But I haven't seen Kyle on. He's been doing videos, but I haven't seen an actual chat in quite some time. So so hopefully we'll try to catch up there. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later, guys.